This video was made possible by Glenmore Audi. All of their information is linked down below. Inherently, SUVs need to excel at many things. They need to space to carry all of the things that you care about and your loved ones, fit large adults comfortably in the back seats, and when the paved roads disappear, they should be able to carry on with very little complaints. But SUVs are largely ignored by the car enthusiast community for being a bit soulless, a box with too much compromise for people that don't really care about driving. Meaning that at the end of the day, there really aren't many SUVs built for car lovers. So what about this? The first RS SUV that Audi has brought to North America. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the RS Q8. And, well, let's just go for it. That is a 4-litre twin-turbocharged V8. It has 590 horsepower and 591 pound-feet of torque. And the way that this thing puts the power to the ground through its permanent all-wheel drive system and its sports-oriented low-profile tires is amazing. Just looking at the spec sheet, you would think that this is a proper sports car, but no, this is a mid-size SUV that can go 0 to 100 kilometers an hour that Audi claims in 3.7 seconds. I am convinced there's no additional fake piping going on. It really is full bore, full power V8 resonating out from the sports exhaust, which is an optional extra, and just resonates everywhere throughout the cabin. This thing, it sounds absolutely delicious. With the engine, I have to say that kind of under 3,000 revs, nothing's really happening. You really have to get it higher up to make sure the turbo is engaged, and you get that engine response that you'd want out of an RS product. God, this thing is quick, but it really isn't the speed. That's the definitive part of the experience for me. It's how well this thing grips. We have so many things working towards this Audi RS Q8. First of all, it has all-wheel steering. It has a 48-volt mild hybrid system that is able to push the corner that's leaning the most of the anti-roll bars down into the ground. I'm turning into corners with the apex in sight, and this thing puts it in its target lock, hits it, and just accelerates out. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission with this RS Q8 that I think some people would want as a dual clutch, but honestly, this is doing a fine enough job. It's comfortable when cruising and left alone to its own devices, but when you put it into sport mode and you want to shift gears yourself, it becomes purposefully violent for a little bit more drama. It is a little bit of a shame that Audi still wants to stick with plastic paddles behind the steering wheel. Not so fond about that. Very fond about the Alcantara steering wheel though. Feels absolutely excellent in the hands. Immediately makes it feel like this is a special thing. At these speeds, I swear to you that I'm not feeling any understeer, but quite frankly, I'm not taking these corners faster than 40 or 50 kph. I'm sure that if you're on a racetrack, the RS Q8 probably won't stack up as well. The steering wheel, although that feels nice, there isn't a lot of road information coming to me from the steering wheel. It's very much a regular Audi in that respect. I can't imagine anybody's really going to be taking this vehicle out into that environment. And for what it's doing right here, right now, it's more than just getting the job done. It's putting a smile on my face. Now, you should never build a car this powerful and this heavy if it's not able to stop properly. The RS Q8 weighs about 5,000 pounds. So the model that I'm testing out has the largest brakes ever fitted to a car. It shares that claim to fame with the Lamborghini Urus. It has 17.4-inch diameter brake discs. The front brakes have 10-piston brake calipers, and the one I'm testing out today has the carbon ceramic option, another $10,000 added to the base price. So if they don't work well, then what's the point? Well, let me show you just how much you can do. Doing 100, And that's a dead stop. But again, the joy of this product is that I can slip into an automatic mode, take it out of RS, maybe put it in comfort, and this thing is easy, quiet, comfortable. Although the brakes are fairly squeaky when they're cold, they work and operate just like normal brakes on daily commuting or rush hour traffic. They feel no stranger or no more difficult to modulate or use. And even though we're on very low profile tires, I wouldn't say the ride is all that harsh. Although I would like to note that every time I pick up one of these vehicles and drive home, I go through the exact same piece of road every single time. And this is the first time that a particular part of the road has felt washboardy. So yes, the RS Q8 is stiffly sprung, but I don't think it's intolerable. And when this engine gets into its top gear at whatever speed you're cruising at, it becomes a near silent experience. You can't hear anything from the engine. There's no droning from the exhaust because the glass is double glazed. That cuts out a lot of the nasty road noises. And that kind of looks like I've reached the top of this road. So let's settle everything down, put it into an automatic mode, and talk about the consumer-oriented things of the RS Q8. It does feel special enough and different enough to be warranted as an RS product. The luxury and the build quality is everything that you expect out of an Audi, nothing really different there, and there's so much technology in this vehicle that would be hard to cover in this video, so go back and watch my previous coverage of the Q8 to find out more about some of the deeper features that are available with this vehicle. But there's a bit of an elephant in the room when it comes to the RS Q8 and the other vehicles that it has to compete against, not from other manufacturers, but from itself and from its own family. So let's pull over and talk about that for a minute. You see, the Audi RS Q8 is one of the most recent additions to the onslaught of product launches of which the Volkswagen Group is now entering. This RS Q8 shares the same basic platform, the same basic components as the Bentley Bentayga, the previously mentioned Lamborghini Urus, and the Porsche Cayenne. Now, the Bentley and the Lambo may have a significantly higher price tag over this RS Q8 because they are appealing for people that are looking for a badge that's as rare as a Lamborghini and perhaps the hand-built quality of a Bentley. But with the Porsche Cayenne, with the same mechanical components, retails for a very similar price. And because of all of that, I think the Audi might suffer because it is an Audi. It might not have the same brand appeal as the Porsche and the previous reasons that I described for the Bentley and the Lambo. And I think that's a real shame because to me, this is the best looking of the bunch. The Q8 was a good looking thing already. It looked like an angry bulldog, and the RS Q8 looks like a very angry bulldog with a carbon fiber snout. This part around the grille is actually called the mask, and that has nothing to do with the ongoing pandemic that we're currently suffering. As standard, the RS Q8 comes with a flat matte gray kind of color for the mask surround, but with the carbon fiber optics pack that I'm testing out, it has that surround, but a black optics pack is available as well. Now, there's also another element of this story, which is the RS Q8 is also competing against future cars in the Audi lineup, the RS6 Avant and the RS7. And as a car guy, I can't stand here and say that you should buy this over the wagon, because the RS6 Avant really might be the last chance Audi is going to give North America to buy a high performance estate. And judging that this car is about 440 pounds heavier than an RS6 Avant, has the same engine, same driveline, transmission, interior, all the rest of it, I can't just stand here and say that this is going to be the better vehicle. But you can buy this right now. With the RS6, there is a waiting list and they don't expect to bring any of them to North America by November, so I'm told. So really now I'm at the bottom of the road and I need to decide, should I go back up it? Is the RSQ8 enough of a driver's car, enough of a performance machine that gets someone like me excited to keep on going? The RSQ8 is a mighty mean and, my god, a proper performance car. Even though it's a vehicle that isn't the same sort of size and layout that most car enthusiasts would go for, I really think it could satisfy them. It's an authentic RS experience and feels every bit as valuable as the MSRP suggests. I can't wait for the RS6 Avant and the RS7, but Audi, if the rest of your RS SUVs are as good as this one, then you're more than welcome to send the rest over.